Elizabeth, I want to go back to what your pivot, but I think there is some power in making those tough decisions and doing the pivoting and changing even when it feels uncomfortable.
There's so much power in that,
So,
Colleen. There's first of all, it's terrifying. I mean, if I got on this podcast and was like, "Oh, it's easy. Give up 12 years of your work to go and find new success elsewhere in a business that's like sort of proven, but not fully proven," I would be lying to you, right? But there becomes
yeah.
this moment where you're like, "Okay, I always say history leaves a pattern. Okay. So if you look back, like if I look back on my career history, every time I've made a really hard jump, I've gone and grown that much quicker, right? My trajectory became much, much quicker.
Mm,
Whether it was like I quit a job to go to grad school, I was so adamant
mhm.
when
Hi, I'm Cheryl Maderos.
And I'm Colleen Hungerford, and this is the Inspire Her Collective podcast and community for the whole woman, mind, body, soul, and business.
It's humor infused, as real as it gets, inspiring, and you'll walk away with real, usable tools for life and business.
If you love what you're hearing, please share with a friend, subscribe so you never miss an episode, and rate and review wherever you listen.
And if you find yourself wanting more inspiration and authenticity, visit our website to learn how to join our nationwide community. Let's dig in.
I graduated grad school that I had to live in New York City. So I had to take that job, right? And I said no to so many others. And then I left New York and I started a residential brokerage company. And then that brokerage was the first independent to partner with Compass when they came to Philadelphia. I mean, that was scary being independent for as long as.
Mhm. Big
And
deal.
it's like, okay, then I started a coaching business as a side project. And I realized, wow, I love this. This is going to take off. I just have to devote more time to it. I mean, think of the impact that I can make if this is my full time gig. And my whole idea was to devote a decade to impact. But so when you look back on your history and you see that every time you've jumped out of the comfort zone, you've trajectory has gone that much faster. What makes you think that jumping out now won't do the same thing? And it helps to get over that
Yeah.
fence that is the fear. But yeah, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying, especially when you have I have this group of advisors, right? I have a family advisory board. My husband's part of it. I have an accountant. I have two coaches. I mean, I'm constantly with people who are helping me to grow. And I remember like some of their reactions when I told them what I wanted to do. My husband included was like, "Wait, you're doing what?" And it took a little bit of time for them to understand the motivation behind it, to see the path clearly or clear enough that they felt comfortable, to support it. But
And we talk about that because I am such
Yeah.
a decider and doer. I think it's called
mhm.
activator and Clifton Strengths. Like
Mhm.
there's no fucking pause. I decide
Yeah,
and I
I'm an
move.
activator too, girl. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm married to someone who's not
We all
an
are.
activator and is very like strategic and much more thoughtful than I am, where I'm like gut and go. Like my gut says, yes, we're doing this. And so
Yeah.
when I like approach my husband with a change I want to make, it's hard for me because first of all, I don't need to ask permission to do anything, which everybody
Totally.
acknowledges. But it is that like advisory council of and like also like these decisions don't only impact me.
Leadership. Yeah.
And like if he just
Yeah.
like quit his job on a whim or like took a different position that could potentially pay significantly less for a little bit, like and he didn't have that conversation with me, I'd be irate. But like
Of course.
it is hard to like go and like also just wait like literally this last choice I made, he's like, "Can we just like sleep on this and talk tomorrow?" And I'm like, "I don't
Mhm.
know if I can."
That sounds terrible. I won't
And
sleep.
then I was up all night.
There's no sleeping happening.
Yeah. Like I'm not sleeping. I'm sick. I just want to start doing.
Mhm.
But I'm married and that's really hard to be in a partnership like that.
That's really, yeah, that drives me nuts because I will just, I think you and I, Cheryl, and I don't know, Elizabeth, you tell us, like, but you and I married men that think very similarly in that, like, it takes them a little bit longer to process, which is like probably why they liked us because we were like, bing, bong, bing, bong, bing, bong, bong. And I am somebody also who sees, again, like I'm like a visionary, like I can see things that will happen. I'm not like a I'm not like telepathic, but I
think
can
I'm a little
see how
telepathic, if
things
we're
will
being
like,
honest.
maybe I am, right? Yeah. But like I can see how something is going to roll out, or I can see how something could be big, or I can see, like I can understand how, like, if we make this move to Indiana as the example, how that's going to positively impact our life for the next 10 years, right? But my husband is not somebody who can see that. And he wants facts, and he wants a spreadsheet, and he wants to think about it, and he wants to analyze all the different ways that it could go right or that it could go wrong. And again, I'm like, bro, just the vibes are good. Let's go. And he's like, "Mm." And for the most part, I end up either helping him understand, convincing, or just bullying him.
Same.
Doing those
Same.
things.
We're
Husband's
such
always
assholes. Elizabeth, how are you? What do you like?
So my husband is my biggest cheerleader. He has supported me emotionally. I'm very independent. I don't need his permission to make decisions, certainly, but I always want his buy-in.
right.
Um, but he gets
Hmm.
me on a deeper level, right? He likes to challenge me. And so when I say,
Hmm.
I'm thinking that maybe I want to step out of leadership. He's like, okay. And he will twist it into the five other reasons why I perhaps should not jump out of leadership. Not to not support the decision, but to make sure that I am seeing my own blind spots because he can see, there's always somebody who can see the things that you can't. And so I think that took a little bit of time because the questions that he asked were really smart and it made me
Mm.
think and perhaps second guess a little bit more and spend more time on it. But Chip sees a plan. He's also incredibly ambitious. I laugh a lot because I'm like, our ambitions fighting each other. It's constantly fighting each other because he's so big picture as well. But I think that ability for him to see what I don't see, I value so much that I put the time in to answer the questions and to really ponder them and think on them. And I mean, I'm painting this picture that this is an easy process. It's not. Sometimes I'm like, why are you asking me that? I don't understand. Like, do you not want me to do this?
Listen, I can see Cheryl's face and my face, and we're like, I would fucking hate that. That sounds
Oh,
terrible.
The idea of a pressure test.
We're
I
like,
like the
we
idea of a pressure
love that
test.
for you.
My hiccup with it is purely based on like our stage of life where like we can
Yeah.
have a 5-minute conversation about this right now. And the next time we have 5 minutes to talk about this again, maybe 3 weeks. And I don't have the fucking
Correct.
patience to sit on an idea for 3 weeks. And so I simply have started
Yeah.
to just do and like it causes problems. We now are in our regular marriage therapy where like oftentimes we're unloading stuff like this there, almost having like a business meeting and a planning meeting because it's the only fucking hour of our week that we can sit down when
Mm.
it's not bedtime where we're both just exhausted and have
mhm.
nothing left, where it's not first thing in the morning and we're both already thinking about whatever it is we have going on that day and there's not three little humans like "Boop, boop, 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 mom mom mom
Yep.
mom mom." So it's like it's more of a patience thing at this stage of life. I think that prior to kids, I valued not value may not be the right word, but I was more patient with it.
Mhm.
And now I just don't have the patience because I don't have
Listen,
three
you guys
weeks
are
to fucking
people than
wait. I
me.
need to decide.
You guys are better people than me. I get so annoyed when, and he'll do it, but he'll be like, oh, well, like, I'm like, stop devil's advocating me. I don't want a devil's advocate. I just want you to say, that
Get
sounds
in, let's
great. Let's
ride.
go. But Ace can see, Elizabeth, how that would be very helpful and thoughtful. And I can appreciate that.
I,
I think I
go ahead.
am a
No,
piece of
stop.
shit.
I will tell you, Cheryl, because our babies are 6 and 3, so they're really little. And
Yeah.
Chip and I were sort of at the same place. It sounds like you and your husband were like we didn't have a lot of time for each other, and I was feeling that was hard. It was challenging. So when we started the new year, we were making goals and things that we wanted to do, and we put into play a 4 p.m. date on a Friday afternoon. We pick up kids from school
Mm,
between 5 and 5:30. We meet for a cocktail every
mm.
Friday at 4 o'clock. And if I if I happen to schedule something else during that 4 o'clock, Chip will get very mad about it. So it is an intentional since
Love it.
January, we're now what, April? Every Friday at 4 o'clock, we meet, we have a drink, and we just talk. And it is like the greatest thing because we start the weekend with how was your week? What were your wins? What were the challenges? What are we going into? Like we have this almost business meeting, but we can be very intentional with our time. And I think it has made it a huge difference
What I'm
in many
hearing is I need to
I
invite
love
my
that.
therapist. We need to be meeting our therapist somewhere we can get
Cocktails?
cocktails. Is
cocktails.
what I'm-
That, man. Everything is easier. You just have a nice little cocktail and you chat.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I wish we could, everybody's
Yeah.
situation is different, right? But then I'm always like, in my mind, and again, I'm still definitely in
Mhm.
growth mode for my real estate business. And I'm like, Friday, I have so many clients. I have to, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
Fridays when we go and show houses, or I do this, or I do that. But that doesn't matter. I get what you're saying as far as like making it a priority and like making the time to like sit down and do this together. We were trying to do this
Mhm.
every Sunday. And quite honestly, we haven't made it a priority. We haven't really set it as a high enough priority because there's always something that then knocks it
Yeah, and you have a
off
natural accountability
kilter.
partner because the one day where I was like, oh, four
Yeah.
o'clock's the only time I can get my nails done on Friday. Like, that's the only appointment they have available. He was like, you're not going to cocktails? You're going to go get your nails done? I was like, guess I'm going to make a time to go
How
get a
No,
dare
cocktail.
you?
definitely was not going to do that.
Who's doing
Not
that?
me.
Not
Not me,
us.
I mean,
Chip. I'll
unless
be
you want to
there.
meet me there with a
Not me.
cocktail and then we could just like two birds, one
Yeah.
stone, but I understand.
My nail salon has
There you
cocktails,
go.
so you
I'm
you
like,
guys could
come
do it
with me.
there.
But anyway, yeah. So that's I value his counsel
Yeah.
very much because it he sees a different perspective that I I don't have all the time.
Yeah. We're working really
Now
hard on
you're
getting
not
back to a place where we are like, we see this as an issue as like life has gotten so busy these last couple of years where we've just like, "Ugh," and we're not trying, we are coming back and focusing
Mhm.
intently on that. It's not easy.
No.
And like, sometimes I feel like
mm.
if I have to talk about a Honda dealership one more fucking time, I'm going to hit my head against a wall because it's all we talk about. But he's just so deeply ambitious.
And I wondered, does he feel that way
I
about real
almost never
estate?
talk about it. I do think that's the value of like
Really?
having like the partners that are like, when you're in a deal, it's so complex. It's like there's so many moving parts and it
Yeah.
changes so quickly. Like so much happens in a day that like if you're not in it with me, like I can't keep you up to date on this. Like I don't have time, energy, effort. Like I'm gonna tell
Yep.
you the highlights and the lowlights, but like you're not gonna know what's going on with my deals because it's just too
No.
much. So like I'll talk
Mhm.
to Hannah and Summer and other people about that like are in it and seeing the emails and the
Yeah.
exchanges and like so it's just it doesn't make as much sense to talk about that together.
Mhm.
Um so we talk more about the kids and like I actually am pushing him really a lot right
Yeah.
now to like get a hobby so that we have something other than Hondas to talk about because I'm so
Love it.
tired of
Yeah.
Honda. They started an AI answering service today. They launched, and he's running the project. Guess what her name is? The robot.
It's
Yeah.
not.
Cheryl.
Is
Cheryl.
it really?
Originally, yeah,
Yeah.
she came with the default name Alex, which is his name. And he's like, we can't because I can't have people calling the dealership and be like, I talked to Alex, and that would be very confusing. And
Oh my
so
God.
he
That's
named her
hilarious.
Cheryl. And so this morning he sent a message that said, love you. And I said, was that for me or was that for your robot?
Oh my gosh, so good.
Oh my God. It's funny you say that, Cheryl, because I will talk about stuff at home, but you're right. Like I'll be like, oh God, this blah 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 blah, blah and steel and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, which one is that? I'm like, oh, never mind. You
Hard
know,
to catch
or
you
like
up.
the other day, yeah, I was like, there's too much. And then the other day he was like scrolling through Instagram. He's like, I thought you sold this house already. I was like, yeah, man, look at the date that your algorithm's feeding you a just listed reel that's 3 weeks old. Like,
That's hilarious.
like we've been talking about this, you know. But yeah. Okay, Elizabeth. So now we don't have the
Hmm.
team anymore, right? And we have the coaching. And how is that? And then still doing real estate, still selling real
Yep.
estate. Like, how are we
Yeah.
doing all of those
So
things? Talk
I
to us about
stepped
that.
out of team leadership in October and I went to two women on my team, one who I had mentored for 5 years as a brand new agent, and one who I had
Mm.
mentored for 8 years. And I asked each of them, I said, did you ever see yourself as a team lead? And they each separately said, and I was so flattered, I always thought I'd be one, but I never wanted to leave you. To which I thought, you know what? I am like
Oh,
the
that's
old boomer
wonderful.
who's not retiring. Like, I need to step out of the way so these women can rise, which is my whole brand, if you think about it, right? So
Right,
I said,
right,
well,
right.
I think you'd be fabulous team leads, and I'm going to support you to stay at Compass in that role if you want it. Well, don't you know, they each rose to principal agent status, and each of them took half of the team. Which is a great, like,
Wow.
to me,
Oh,
bow on the whole story, that the team stayed together in
yeah.
many ways, and these women are now thriving as team leads, and I couldn't be more proud to watch that happen. So
Gosh. What credit to you too, because I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of people who would not do that and also would not be proud of that or would, like, that's a, I mean, like, you're the real deal
you know what? I just think
because
that
there are a lot of people who cannot see
there's
that.
room for everybody at the top. There's room for everybody to be successful. Let's build a bigger pie. Let's not shut each other down. And I unfortunately in my career, particularly when I was in corporate life, which, I came from corporate America into real estate, um, women were not that way. There were so many women who just wanted to sort of squash rather than elevate. And I thought, I'm never going to be that leader. I always
Yep.
want to be the leader who is known for someone who turns around and brings somebody behind them. And I'm not just going to bring one, I'm going to bring as many people as I can into that because we're all better when we're together. And I believe that
Yeah.
in myself.
And I will say, you hear that a lot. You hear that a lot, and people will say those words, but honestly, actions speak so much louder than words, right? Like you hear a lot of people talking about collaboration. You hear a lot about abundance. I hear people sometimes saying a lot of those things, and then you
Mhm.
watch them, and what they're doing is not.
Yes.
But you're right. But you're right. It does. And I think the other thing that I really, and Cheryl and I are we are also that way, right? Like we want to bring everybody with us. And I've really leaned into this idea of like, you're going to know what I mean when I say this nepotism. Like, I think men have been doing this for hundreds of years where they bring along their buddies, right? And I know that all the women that I know and associate with are very capable, but aren't always invited
Mhm.
into the rooms. So now my goal in life, besides raising amazing children and being happy and whatever, is to like bring all of those women into
Mhm.
the room because why not? Like there's been boys clubs for a billion years. Like let's make the girls club. Like let's bring the people that we know and they don't need to quote unquote earn it. They've already earned it. You already know they're good at what they do. You know what I mean? Like, and I think like that's my like spin on like the boys club is like I'm gonna give opportunities to all the women
That's
I
right.
know all the time because
And you
why
have the power
not?
to do it
It's
and use that power
yes.
in a way for good. So, what am I doing now? Let's see.
Yeah,
I
tell
went
us what it's
through
like
Yeah.
doing your coaching.
Sorry.
What is that? What does it look like?
We're going solo after being a team lead.
How
I
does
wanna know
that
what it looks like for, like, your
Go
coaching
ahead.
clients. Like, what are you taking your clients through, and how are you mentoring and changing their lives? Because I know
Yeah.
you are.
Thank you. So I have two programs currently, and I just added a third. So my signature program is the Confident Agent, and it's for women 5 years or less in the business. Women like me, right, who have transitioned
Mm.
out of corporate America because they wanted flexibility of time. They wanted to be home with their kids. They wanted to be on the baseball field, and they got into real estate because they had an interest, but they can't figure out how to make any money because it's not an easy business, as we all know, right? And the brokerages are training, but they're not necessarily teaching business development. And I help these women come into their confidence in who they are as a person, right? What is that authentic brand? A lot of them come to me and they say, "Oh, but I came from
Mm.
corporate. I don't know anything about real estate." I'm like, "But you know about this, 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 and this. What are your unique selling props?" We work on that. Then I help them activate their networks because, as we all know, sphere of influence business is the best thing that you can have, right? And putting themselves in rooms that help them have fun doing business development activities, help them really feel authentic and genuine in their approach. And then the last thing I help them with is help them lean into what I call consultative sales. How do you show up as an advisor?
Mm.
How do you generate business in a way that doesn't feel salesy? And some of the ways that I'm helping those women are obviously those three tenets of the program, but also helping them activate what's already inside of them. They
I
know how to do this. They
Yeah.
just need the permission because a lot of coaches are telling them this is what you have to do to be successful. A lot of sales managers are telling them this. And it's like, if you don't like to cold call, don't cold call. But let's find another way for you to have connection. The next program
Right.
is I do private coaching for more seasoned agents. It's a 12-week transformation and it's very bespoke. So I'll have, we could even use my own self as an example. It's like I could have a woman come to me and say like, "I don't think I want to run my team anymore. And I don't even know where to begin." And I would craft with them over 12 weeks a way to exit in a graceful way. I have women
Mm.
in that group who come to me and they say, "I'm really good at what I do, but I'm not happy anymore. I want to leave the business?" And
Oh.
so that is very, very tailored. And then the third thing that I'm doing that I didn't expect to do is I'm starting to do more small team coaching, which is really awesome,
Oh, I
where
love
I'll
that.
put together programs for the team and then do one-on-one coaching with the team lead and with the more junior agents. And so they all sort of have the same
Oh.
vein of defining success for all the programs, defining success for yourself, leaning into your authenticity and coming out with clarity and confidence on how you're building your business.
Oh, yeah. I'm always so
I don't
jealous.
know.
Why am I not in
Susie's
this
in it.
book club?
Club, Colleen. So the book club is through the Helm, which is, our coaching platform for women.
Mm.
Where Danielle Wilkie runs the Helm, and she's very focused on getting more women into coaching. Because frankly, in an industry that
Mm.
dominates, women dominate this industry, many of the coaches, most of them actually are male. And so we're trying to identify, Danielle is really working to identify what are the things that are holding women back from getting into coaching? How can we help overcome that hurdle? So as part of this, I love
Mm.
to read. I'm an avid reader. I'm constantly quoting books and authors and all the stuff. And I was chatting with Danielle about this one day, and Candy Miles Crocker, who's also involved in the Helm, two of us like,
Love
yeah, just
candy.
love
Yes.
candy. We're like, maybe we should do a Helm book club because we're all talking about the same books. And Danielle graciously lent us her platform and said, "Yes, let me support you. Let's do
Love it.
this." And so I think, Cheryl, how long have we been doing the book club now? Over a year, maybe.
A while, yeah.
I think we launched it last spring, I want to say, or summer. And so we meet once a month. It is so casual and so lovely. And there is no prerequisite that you have to read the book, Colleen. So if you have not read the book, that's okay. You could just do a little chat summary of it. But it is, Cheryl, you've been involved now for a while. Maybe you could share your perspective on it. But for me, it's like, I want to get
Is it all
All
agents?
agents at
Is
this
it you? Do
point.
you
You
have to
don't
be an
have to be
agent?
an agent, but it's
Okay.
mostly agents. And we get together and we just talk about the book and we talk about our experiences and we talk about life. And it's just such a beautiful community. And I feel like that's I just want to be in more rooms like that.
That's what it is. It's this community of like ambitious, high achieving women. It's elevating your circle.
Mhm.
It's the smartest in the room. It's the women who are always the smartest in the room,
Mm.
all in the same room. And I crave that like chocolate. I got to have that.
Yeah.
It's so good and you always learn something and it's interesting perspective because everybody's in a different stage of life. And so you get to like take
Mm.
wisdom and little tidbits and also like sometimes you see something that you completely don't relate to and that's just also wonderful perspective and like worldly and eye-opening and very casual, very welcoming, beautiful. I try to make it every month because
Yep.
it's so good. Even if I didn't read the book, I'm there.
Wow, good job, guys. I'm
I
sold.
know.
Sign
See
me
you
I
up.
know.
tomorrow.
Sign me
It's
up. I'm sold.
such, I mean,
What
it's
the hell?
such a great community. And I think women need to be in rooms where they feel safe. And what I mean by that is safe to open your mouth, safe to have an opinion, safe to like go against, like, I actually
Yeah.
didn't like this book, or I did like, I mean, and women are sharing that. And I think that's awesome because we
Yeah.
so infrequently get to be in places where we can um, be so candid without judgment.
Right. Right.
Yep. It's not
Or feeling like you're saying too much, or that's how I feel like in a lot of rooms. Like maybe I'm saying too much. Maybe I'm
Therefore, you're
talking
not.
too much. I don't
you're
know.
allowed to take up space and be exactly who you are.
Oh,
Yes.
I don't know.
Mhm. We all
I don't
are.
know. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
note,
Keep doing it right, guys.
Elizabeth, you're definitely doing it right, and we love it so
Love
Where can
being
much.
in
people
Keep
company
find
coming
with you
you?
back. Keep.
guys. This
I
is
know.
great.
Where can everybody find you who fell in love today? Because they did.
Oh, that's so kind. So my website is just my name, elizabethconvery.com, and you can go on there to see some of the coaching programs. Sign up for my newsletter. I write twice a
I
week. It's called
love.
Toolkit for the Confident Agent, where I
Yep.
talk about lessons I've learned, strategies I've imparted, mindset tricks. I talk about my kids. I talk about life. And my Instagram handle is just my name, elizabeth.convery. So those are all the
Yeah, definitely
places.
sign up for the newsletter, you guys. It's a Tuesday,
Okay.
Thursday read, and it's short. It's like
It's
little,
such a
very
quick read.
consumable. And I like when I'm going through and archiving everything in my inbox that I haven't read yet, I never archive those because I want to go back and read them if I haven't had time yet. Because they're
Thank
just such little
you.
nuggets that are good. It's kind of like what you get on Colleen's stories of
Yeah.
like Colleen's rant of the day.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
Elizabeth like not it's not a rant. It's
Not
a little
rant.
different.
Yeah. A little
It's always
story. A little
so
story
inspirational.
ish.
Yeah, story with some inspiration and like a nice bow on it every time.
I
It's what
love
we need to
writing
hear.
it and I love hearing from the women who read it because it resonates like regardless of stage of career because we're all going through the same stuff.
Mhm. We
And
are.
that's why it's so important that we support each
Yeah.
other.
It's why we need to be in rooms together, building community, good old
Yeah.
girls clubs. We
Yes.
need them.
Yep. We need them.
All right. Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much for your time
Thank
and
you
your
for yours.
inspiration.
Thanks for having me. I love doing these with you.
Such a pleasure. Okay, guys, keep doing it right, and we will see you next week. All right.
Bye.
That's a wrap. Thank you for joining us on this journey of laughter, life, and growth. Please remember to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if you found value in today's conversation, we'd be thrilled if you would leave us a review on your favorite platform. Your feedback means the world to us.
And don't forget to share this podcast with your friends, family, and anyone who could use a good laugh and some practical insight into navigating the challenges and triumphs of our minds, body, soul, and business. And remember, you're not alone on this path to success. We're right here with you every step of the way.
Remember, we're doing this right.
Right?